Ciao Lubiana, I am Eleonora and I'm calling from Roma in Italy. I am an anthropologist specialized in politics and religious anthropology in the Brazilian urban spaces. This occasion of this event was an important possibility to me to use my anthropology technique and share ideas and comments about rebuilding communities in the peripheral areas of Rome, where I'm born and raised actually, with some colleagues, but also with a huge public that is not insider of the anthropological literature. During our event, we discussed about two main trajectories that are shaping and reshaping the sense of communities in the peripheral area of Rome since ever, so the immigrant issues and the housing issues. We made this discussion possible also thanks to 5 main speakers that are not just anthropologists but also other kinds of social scientists and activists. From this point of view, we made clear to the audience that one of the main tasks of anthropology is to denaturalize social constrictions and constructions. One of the ideas that ran transversally through all the interventions during the roundtable was that one of the structure of violence of David Graeber that actually is constructing the sense of peripheral in relation to a morally just sense of center that is statalized, colonized, verticalized. This one was absolutely the first of some ideas that emerged from our discussion, our public discussion, and that was linked to another area of social science that is one of the law area. In fact, these legal instruments are very useful to construct and build up own bodies, peripheral bodies, and we are talking about migrant bodies, prostitutes' bodies, women bodies, and homelessness. In this specific case of our roundtable. These legal instruments, as I was saying, are fundamental and useful to construct a legal production of illegality that is useful to legitimize necropolitical and prison fair control over these peripheral bodies. To get to this point of analysis, to this level of analysis, was essential to mix up diachronical and deep historical and also a deep ethnographic sensibility of the peripheral areas of Rome. The most cross-cutting and strongest perspective, thinking about theoretical point of view and political point of view, were actually the Marxist one with the struggle of classes and the transfeminist one talking about intersectionality and the Foucaultian one. Two other ideas emerged from our discussion, our roundtable, were that of the mobility and territoriality. That could lead to a specific sense of community and type of construction of territorial community. While the activist and historical part of the audience and the main speakers focus much more about the territorial belonging on the process of construction of communities, another part of the audience and the main speakers focused the gaze on the possibilities opened up with the deterritorialization and the process of community construction activated in the diasporic, we can say, the migration into the migration situation. For example, we focused also on the concept enlightened by the anthropologist Ghost Ravi of feeling at home that is quite linked to a nation-state system that tend to crystallize your possibility of movement into some rigid boundaries and rigid and crystallized categories of bodies and classes. Coming to our conclusions and outcomes, it is important to mention the discussion that emerged on the theme of periphery, that quite all the audience and main speakers agreed that is constructed in a dialectical way, considering both periphery and center point of view. The other important point discussed was the concept of community, and we all agree that we have to pay attention to this fantasy about communities as some peaceful places to build up a safe relationship, because one of the most important themes that play a fundamental role in the construction of community actually is conflict. That is quite forgotten. So another important outcomes and conclusion of our event was the perception of the audience that came to me at the end of the event. It made me notice how the anthropologists coming from the Italian Academy are quite focused on political and theoretical deconstruction of social stuff that made quite difficult to understand the potential of anthropology that is so much more linked to the everydayness of the people. And these fieldwork examples should be much more present into the public discussion of applied anthropology. Thank you so much for this opportunity to create and share this event and discussion with you and with the audience of the Why the World Needs Anthropologists. I wish that this discussion could inspire you as much as it did with us. And I look forward to hearing from you and your discussions. And ciao a tutte e tutti!
How did the local context influence the conversation?
So, most of the audience was actually living or born and raised directly in the area, the peripheral area where the event was located. And also a big part of the discussions was about case studies constructed in the peripheral area of Rome that a lot of the audience recognized as something so near to the everyday life they lived. So this was a key bridge, a territorial key bridge of knowledge that made it possible to link the anthropological experiences to the everyday life of the audience.
If you could continue the discussion, what topic or question would you explore next?
So I would like to go deeper in the exploration of three main concepts, I think. The first one could be that one of the conflict, the other one that of the structural violence, and the third one could be that of the movement or mobility linked to the bodies or territories, to understand better how this concept could play an important role in the construction of communities.
Do you have a favorite quote from the discussion?
Yeah, and I'm going to cite it, and it's from one of the five main speakers that is called Jack Orlando, that is actually a militant in the peripheral area of Rome. He said, the political importance of communities, even temporary ones, the squares manifestations for examples, are the marks, the traces they leave in people. It is not important if they disintegrate immediately after.